I want to ask another question. So let's say if I am to say help Tim Ferriss or Path whoever the big podcasters here who have English podcasts and say let me sort of repurpose that without even changing into Chinese. Is there, because China has a very strict, like you said, there's the firewall. There's like even with everything we do for other brands with WeChat content, like there's very strict regulations from the platform because they have to sort of obey what the government, regulation is. What sort of, can they successfully do it, or are they going to get penalized in some way because, some of the contents are not going to be able to be, be sort of, I guess, legally on the platform by that standard? I don't know what the words to use, but
Yeah. So the good news is, number one, when you start an account on Ximalaya, you have full 24/7 access to their customer service department. And of course, I tested to see how good their English is, and it's very good. Not only
oh,
it's
okay.
very, yeah, not only it's very good, I actually tested both Chinese and English, and just to see kind of what the difference is. And number one, you're not going to be facing like a bot that's spinning the answers around. Like, you're actually talking to a real person, and all of them understand English. There's like no pause, and they're able to respond in English as well. I would say use common sense, please. That China is this powerful country. It's something that everybody could name and know where it is. Two areas I would recommend that you avoid immediately, and also it's something that I do for my podcast. Even though it's hosted in the U.S., I avoid topics related to religion and politics,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, like you're just not building the right audience at that point, and people love to argue and love to, sort of have that kind of separate themselves from one another, which is so opposite of the spirit of podcasting. So that's number one. Number two is, as I mentioned, customer service, ask specific questions. Third thing, which a lot of people, podcasters I've dealt it with, are really frustrated instantly, that will almost want to give up on Ximalaya when it happens, is when you upload an episode, there's a kind of a text field similar to like almost like a Word doc processing tool.
Right.
That you can upload images, highlight links, and things such as that. A lot of people like to include a really long show notes. I would suggest that if you're starting out, keep the show notes relatively short, because even if it's completely clean, because it's in English, sometimes there's maybe a hidden pre-approval process involved. So keep it short so that you don't run into an issue, which is called sensitive words issue. Some people, and myself included, I was like, I didn't mention anything sensitive. I don't know what to correct. But
right. So actually, I want to bring that point up. I completely forgot about this, and I actually should be talking about this when we do WeChat. But WeChat does the exact same thing. So before you, it's not like here where if you publish something on your website, you publish it. Nobody's going to really patrol you or kind of look through it. But WeChat does monitor everything you sort of write and say or do. And, if they say you copy this or you copy that and they don't publish it, then you kind of have to scramble and try to figure out what's going on. So I guess it's the same thing on Ximalaya in that sense, where you do have to be very careful in terms of what you put on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So is there another point after that one, or that was it?
I think those are the basic challenges. The other things are common sense. So you actually brought up, that's a good example, say Tim Ferriss. So there's something that, even though it might not be easy enough for Ximalaya to identify that, for example, if somebody fakes himself or herself to be the real Tim Ferriss and then download the MP3s and start uploading to Ximalaya, so Ximalaya is not going to be able to identify that right away. Right. You can fake the profile really well, but I really would highly recommend against it, because I know a scenario where, let's say it's actually an English learning podcast that became fairly popular, by normal standard, which is each episode is getting between 8,000 to 20,000 downloads that I could see. And those two women, is funny enough, one of them is based in Boston, the other in Philadelphia. And I reached out to them and said, well, good job, guys. I want to know how you've, really gained your success on Ximalaya. I'd love to hear back from you. And this woman wrote me back to say, no,
they have no clue.
They have no clue. Their show shouldn't be there. And they started a sort of a legal, you know,
Right.
sort of a strike with Ximalaya. And I was like, sorry, I don't know what's going on, and you have to contact them directly. So that's something
Right.
that Ximalaya does give you a checkbox that you have to promise and guarantee that your content is original before you upload. So that's all.
Right. Or it is original, but you're not faking your name. In a sense, I
Exactly.
guess.